Today we are making pumpkin pancakes. So to start, you want to get out your frying pan, your griddle, and make sure you have some pumpkin puree. Not pumpkin pie filling, just pumpkin puree. So we're gonna put our griddle or frying pan on our stove over medium-low heat. If you think it's going to take you a long time to prep the pancake batter, you can hold off on preheating your griddle until your batter is made. But let's go ahead and start with our dry ingredients. So you're going to want to get out a large mixing bowl, and this recipe originally was part whole wheat, part all-purpose flour. So that is what we're going to go with. We're going to start with a half cup of all-purpose flour. Be sure you spoon your flour into your measuring cup because flour will pack down and then you have too much flour and then you have dry pancakes. And we don't want that. Then we're going to add 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Next, we're going to add baking soda. We need 1 teaspoon. We need 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. We're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt, along with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. So that is it for our dry ingredients. Go ahead and whisk those together or stir them together really well. Get all those spices and our leaveners, the baking powder and the baking soda, evenly distributed. Now, once we have mixed our dry ingredients, you can get out a separate medium-sized bowl for the wet ingredients. What I like to do is just create a well in the middle of my dry ingredients. I push my dry ingredients out to the side, and that is where I'm going to place all of my wet ingredients. So first things first is oil. We need 2 teaspoons of oil. This is optional. I am using light olive oil. Next, we need some vanilla, 1 teaspoon, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, whatever you prefer. We're gonna get out our pumpkin. Again, this is pure pumpkin, no other ingredient, just pumpkin. But first, we're gonna add in 1 cup of buttermilk. So you see how my milk was kind of lumpy? I did not have buttermilk. So what I did before I started mixing anything together, I added a tablespoon or 2 of white vinegar into my measuring cup, and then I filled it the rest of the way with milk. You can use cow's milk, you can use any plant-based milk, it will work. And then I just set it aside until I was ready to add it to my batter, and you can use lemon juice in place of white vinegar if you want. And then we're going to add 1 cup of our pumpkin, and then 2 eggs. Now I am notorious for not getting my eggs up to room temperature before I add them to a recipe. So what I often do is I will fill a glass with warm water and I will put my cold eggs into the warm water and I will just let them hang out in there until I'm ready to add them to my recipe, and by that time they have warmed up. So once you have all of your ingredients in the bowl, I'm going to just focus on the wet ingredients in the middle of my bowl. Just get those mixed together, break up my egg yolks, get that all mixed in before I intentionally start mixing in the dry ingredients. Again, this is just how I do it. You can absolutely just mix your wet ingredients in a separate bowl. But if you're going my way, once your pumpkin wet ingredient mixture starts to come together, you can start slowly incorporating your dry ingredients. Now this is a pancake batter, so we don't want to aggressively mix our batter. We're just going to gently fold, gently stir our flour mixture in with our wet mixture until you can no longer see any dry ingredients. It's okay if your pancake batter is lumpy. If you overmix your batter, you're going to get a tougher, chewier pancake, and I think all of us prefer more of a fluffy pancake. So I like nice, thick, fluffy pancakes. This batter is going to be quite thick. If you prefer a thinner pancake, what I would do is I would use equal parts milk to flour. So we had a total of 1.5 cups of flour. You can start with 1.25 cups of milk and go up to 1.5 cups of milk if you just want a thinner pancake. But once your batter is mixed, we're going to go back to our griddle. Now, if you did not preheat your griddle or your frying pan, what I would do is I would get your griddle out, your frying pan out, preheat it over medium-low heat for 5 to 10 minutes. That may seem like a long time, but honestly, that is how long it takes. If you are using a cast iron griddle or frying pan, shoot for the 10 minutes. This will also give your batter time to come up to room temperature if you used cold ingredients, namely your eggs and your milk. Now, my griddle was preheated. As you can see with the butter, it was hot. My butter browns up really quick. My griddle may have been preheating a little longer than it needed to, but that's okay. But once you are ready with your batter in your frying pan, your griddle, we're going to drop our pancake batter down by 1/4 cup scoops. I just like to use my 1/4 cup measuring spoon. I think it makes a great size pancake. They all end up about the same size. And then what I do to keep my pancakes warm, because I like to make all my pancakes before I sit down and serve them and eat them, I take a oven safe plate and I stick it in my oven while I preheat my oven to its lowest temperature. So most ovens go down to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, so that is what I preheat my oven at with the plate in it. And then we just carry on and make our pancakes. What we are looking for in our pancakes is around the edges of our pancakes, they're going to start to look a little dry, and they're going to start to kind of pull away from the pan around the edges. Additionally, we're going to be looking for tiny little bubbles, not just around the edges of the pancakes, but also in the middle. That's just a sign that it's cooking in the middle and it's hot in the middle. These are thicker pancakes, so they are going to take longer to cook. That is why we need to keep our heat around medium-low. My pan is on my largest, hottest stove burner, and medium-low works for me. If you want to do a pancake test, just to make one pancake to start and to see, is your temperature too hot? Is it getting done on the outside but it's still kind of raw in the middle? Or is it taking too long to cook and I need to turn my temperature up a little bit? Doing a one pancake test is always a good idea. Otherwise, you can just wing it and see how your first batch goes and then adjust if need be. Also, I'm a pancake tapper. A lot of times after I do my first flip, I can feel how firm or how soft the pancake is, and that gives me an idea of how done or not the pancake is. So once your pancakes are done, you can go ahead and either serve them right up, or you can do what I do and stick them on the plate that's in your oven. One thing with my method of stacking them in the oven is that they tend to squish down under the weight of one another, and they don't get soggy, but it's more of a moist texture. If you want a drier pancake, some people may prefer that, you can also take a baking sheet and put a cooling rack on top of it, a wire rack, and stick that in your oven, and then you can spread out your pancakes, and that way they have some airflow around them to breathe. So this recipe makes, give or take, 16 pancakes, maybe like 4 to 5 inches in diameter. And usually with my last bit of batter, I like to make one big pancake. Sometimes it's pretty big, so this one's not too crazy big, or you can make 2 baby pancakes. Once you're almost done with making your pancakes, it's time to warm up some of that maple syrup. And I have this cute little maple leaf bowl that one of my friends got me for my birthday last year, and it is perfect for maple syrup, not just because it's a maple leaf, but also because the point of the leaf makes it great for pouring. So pop some maple syrup into the microwave as we finish up our pancakes. One final tip for pancake making is when you go to flip a pancake, when you know it's ready, be really quick with getting your flipper, your spatula under the pancake. It just helps get that pancake on the spatula and not off of your griddle. So now it is time to plate up some pancakes. Look at those delicious stacks we brought out from the oven. I'm gonna take that last big pancake to start with, along with a couple others. How do you guys stack your pancake? Do you stack your pancakes right on top of each other? Do you spread them out in one even layer? I wanted to make sure mine looked pretty for you guys to showcase them. Feel free to slather some butter on them. This may seem weird to you, but I know these pancakes can also be good with peanut butter and maple syrup. Let me know what you guys like on your pancakes. And then it's time to go in with some of that delicious, warm, sweet, sticky maple syrup. Just look at how thick and fluffy that pancake is. Amazing. So, these pancakes are amazing just by themselves, but you can also add ingredients into them. My family's favorite add-in is chocolate chips. Chocolate chip pumpkin pancakes. What more can you want? So if you want to add in chocolate chips or nuts or I don't know, whatever else you want to add in, you can add in a half cup of whatever you decide. Now these are very fall themed. Everything in the fall is usually like pumpkin or apple, but my family loves these year round. So maybe this recipe will become a staple for you guys. So I started making these pancakes years ago and I don't remember the original recipe, but this recipe I shared with you today is modified. I will leave how I made these down below in the description for you guys. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more content. One last tip for you guys is when I have leftover pancakes, I like to spread them out on my plate so that they can cool down more evenly. And I just kind of make them into a nice little flower on my plate as we can see here. And I will show you guys a close-up in just a second. There we go. Leave those out on the counter for a little while and they'll cool right down. Then you can put them in the fridge or these will also freeze. And in the morning, I like to just pop a couple in the toaster and off you go. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are looking for a traditional pancake recipe, go ahead, click here on screen and I'll see you guys there.